I disagree with Jody Wilson-Raybould on ideological matters, but I am impressed with her deep commitment to the rule of law and her duties as an officer of the court. I think it probably comes from being a prosecutor. I mean, that's a tough job being a prosecutor. It really makes you sensitive to following the rules and right and wrong. I think she is the most idealistic Attorney General we've had in a generation. I'm not saying I agree with her ideology, but just about her ethics, I give her thumbs up.
I think you're very much correct there, Ezra. Integrity and accountability, these are not supposed to be partisan values. I mean, ideally, everyone in Parliament, whether a Liberal, an NDP, a Bloc Québécois, or a Conservative, would have a semblance of integrity. And I think what Jody Wilson-Raybould has proven here is that that integrity that she carries and wields so easily is not a common commodity in the Prime Minister's office and in the upper ranks of the Liberal Party and the Liberal government. And ultimately, I think this meeting that you referenced a few moments ago is going to be the big determining factor in whether that integrity is shared by the majority or the minority of her colleagues in caucus. Because if Liberals are putting to her, as the former Attorney General, which is supposed to be a somewhat independent role, that she should have put party above country, well, that's a widespread lack of integrity right there. Mm-hmm. And that really is the key question here.
I bet, I mean, look, I don't know a lot of Liberals. They don't like me that much. But I bet that most members of the Liberal caucus, most MPs, don't like what happened. But the test here is, will they publicly say that if it embarrasses the PM? That's what's so unusual. I mean, and let me say, on the other side of that, Jody Wilson-Raybould did not, quote, go public with this. She was an internal dissident. She held the line as best she could. She fought from within, and then she stayed in cabinet, as she told Parliament, to keep an eye on this file. But and this morning, she tweeted out a statement that she had sent to her colleagues saying, I'm not the one who interfered with the prosecution. I'm not the one who made it public, and I'm not the one who covered it up. So there's three parts there. I mean, she's still really righteous about what she did, but she's reminding the Liberals she hasn't been the one running to the media. It seems like she has, because we're so gripped by it. But it's true, Andrew. She kept quiet about this for months and months and months and quietly bit her tongue, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's a very legitimate question as to why she didn't step down from cabinet. And her answer that she gave, I think it was before that parliamentary committee, that Justice Committee a couple of weeks ago, was a very good one, which is that she felt that her remaining in that position was the safeguard of the rule of law. And she basically felt that with how the Prime Minister's office was behaving, were she to step aside, then political interference would happen. But she trusted herself to hold the line. And I think that's very important. Now, as for her place in caucus right now, I do think that the Liberal caucus is justified in getting rid of her. Quite frankly, she's taking a flamethrower to the Liberal Party and the Liberal establishment, even though she's in the right. But what I do question about Jody Wilson-Raybould, and I think this might be a little bit of a standoff between her and Justin Trudeau here, is how she can, in good conscience, not just remain in the Liberal caucus, but pledge to run as a Liberal candidate in Vancouver-Granville in the election later this year. And the reason why, as you're well aware, Ezra, and probably a lot of your viewers are, the Liberal brand has been the Justin Trudeau brand. Mm-hmm. They were very, very vocal about this in the 2015 election. They even had on a number of their billboards and signs, Team Trudeau. They were not distancing themselves from their leader, but embracing the leader. So I do question how she is going to, with everything she has revealed of the last several months, go door to door in Vancouver and say, vote for Team Trudeau. Mm-hmm. And obviously she won't be using that form of language, but in the Canadian political system, that's ultimately the pitch she's making to Canadians, that they should send Justin Trudeau back, despite all of these ethical breaches that she's, and I'm very grateful for this, brought everyone's attention to.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.